All right. Well, let's get to brass tacks here.
Let's get into it. The 11th studio album by Metallica called 72 Seasons. It's produced by Greg Fidelman, who also produced Hardwired to Self-Destruct. It's 12 tracks, and just like this podcast, it is an hour and 17 minutes long. They should have called this album 77 minutes. It is, good Lord, but it's like 2/3 of all Metallica albums. Could you make it 20 minutes shorter, please? It'd be a much better album. But I think this is a good album. Like we said in our rankings earlier, this for me was right in, it was number 7. I think for you guys it was 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there. A very solid record, a very good. I think it's a good sounding record. I think the vocals sound strong. I think the playing sounds strong. I think you can hear Rob Trujillo's bass a lot more than in previous Rob Trujillo. He's been in the band for 20 years, by the way. Or over 20 years, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought I liked more of it than I didn't like. And the stuff I didn't like was more because I was like, Godspeed playing these songs live, fellas. So I kind of would go like, oh, this song's a little too technical and it's going to sound bad live. But I thought it was a solid record. What did you guys think?
I'm here for this album. I've been wanting Metallica, and I guess on my own part too, I have not really I've been lightly engaging with the Death Magnetic and Hardwired to Self-Destruct. This one I really sunk into, and I'm gonna say I am here, and I'm gonna say Metallica's back, guys. I'm gonna say Metallica is really, really back.
I agree.
This is like a new act, I feel, because when I listened to this, I liked every song on here. I was like, I like every song on here. Some of them weren't my favorite thing, but it's one, I'm here for it, and I liked it. And Metallica sounds great on here. Critiques, Jeff said the album is a little long. I could have used some trimming, and a little one less chorus on a couple tunes to make this thing 50 minutes long would have been a miracle.
You'd have to cut a third of the album.
That's what I'm saying. It would have been a miracle. It would have been really hard to do. The last song, can I get a pronunciation on that one, please?
Inamorata.
Thank you, gentlemen. I thought you were both going to give me one.
The longest song in Metallica's discography.
And I'm
over 11 minutes long.
And that being said, I gave the note that this album is long. That's one of my favorite songs on here. It's 11 minutes long, so it's a tug and pull for me because I really, really like that one when they stretched out and went really long.
You like the 16th note hi-hats in the middle?
Did not. One of my other critiques
you didn't like that?
Of my record, of this record, and that's my only drumming critique on this whole record.
No!
I think so.
Can I hit some drumming critiques after you're done?
Yes, is the middle of that song is he's playing in it's very soft, and it would sound, in my opinion, good with no drums at all, and it's 16th notes on
it's
a very
disco time.
Yes, very strange choice, but it's not overly
some drum critiques. We talked about Lux Eterna when it came out. There's tons of double bass, and there's no way Lars is playing that stuff, so good luck live. There's a lot of drum programming on this album, which is fine. It's recorded music. But again, if you're paying $300 to see him live, be ready for some of this drum stuff to not sound as uniform as it does on this recording.
Yeah, not as uniform. I Lux Eternal, it came out, or Eterna, and it came out, and I was like, ooh, I thought the same thing. Mm-hmm. I looked up the live videos. There was 3 or 4 of them playing it. Lars is kicking ass. He kept tempo. Because I was I wanted to sip haterade and be I want to watch him fuck this up. So I went and watched it, and he played really good. He kind of fucked up one of the fills in Jimmy Kimmel, but the double bass shit was right on, and I was here for it. Yeah. They played it at an award show too. I think it was iHeart Music, something like that, and they kicked ass on that too. So,
but Lars can't get any respect because the critique is this album, the drumming sounds too good, whereas in past you're the critique is it's a little too all over the place. Stylistically, I think there's just too much of that open, splashy hi-hat on this album. Like the 10th track, Too Far Gone. I wrote, take off the goddamn splash hats in the intro. There's so much of the it's let things breathe. There doesn't need to be that through every fucking song. But I think overall, this album sounds good. The good drumming, I think, sounds very good. I hope it can be done live.
I think, too, the thing about, kind of programmed drums on a metal album, it's every metal album I've heard for the past 20 years has had programmed drums on it. So, if we're having a conversation of, what, I can't believe... That, for me, is, I'm not even, touching that one. Same with Auto-Tune. Everything has had auto-tune on it for the past 20 years. Everything. There's not one album that comes out that really doesn't have it. This is on here, but it's light. It's baked on there light. So I just wanted to address some of the stylistic critiques of like, if you are expecting this to sound like Ride the Lightning sounds like shit. This is gonna like age well. Ride the Lightning hasn't aged well. It's a great record.
It sounds
very
dated, yeah.
It's dated. This is gonna, I think, sound better for longer. And I'm here for the singing on here. Rob Trujillo.
Great harmonies.
Great harmonies on a Metallica record. There's harmonies on a Metallica record, which I thought gave new life into the band. I was like, maybe they're going to come up with more melodic stuff on the next one.
Yeah, I definitely think Metallica's back. I like the choices, too, because you had songs like Lux Eterna, which kind of gives you that sort of Kill 'Em All vibe, where it's thrashier, more upbeat and stuff. But then you also had these kind of, these sort of Sabbathy kind of vibes going on with these kind of like tritone kind of chromatic things, back and forth and stuff. And I really do, man. I think this is a great record. I love, like Luke said, I love the harmonies. I love that the Rob Trujillo bass tones on here and how prominent they are. The song itself, too, 72 Seasons. I think it's a kick-ass album opener, and then every song right after that, it's just like, boom, Shadows Follow. It's a great intro, and they do that, they do, like, in true Metallica form, those great, like, stoppy hit things, and then the next thing, and then the song starts. They do stuff like that.
72 Seasons long has the great 72 seasons, and starts off great thrashy, stompy metal, fast stops. I really loved that. Great leadoff track.
Yeah.
Great title track too.
Yeah, and it's just like, and
that's one of my favorites on this whole record, definitely.
Yeah, 72 Seasons. Screaming Suicide was cool too. It kind of had excuse me, sorry. That was one of the songs that I felt like definitely had that Kill 'Em All kind of feel as well.
Screaming Suicide?
Screaming Suicide, yeah.
For me, that one was hitting like 90s Metallica with like the more like hard rock approach kind of thing. And it was hitting me there. And I liked how they kind of infused that back into their sound a little bit. And I was like, ooh, I like that.
Yeah. Sleepwalk My Life Away was another one. It wasn't necessarily my favorite song, but that Sabbath style ending at the end of that tune, man, I'll tell you what, I love that. I ate that shit right up.
Yeah, I like the bass toms intro of that song. My favorite tracks were Chasing Light, which had a very throwback sound, especially the higher vocals remind me of the Kill 'Em All type of vocal approach. My favorite track on the whole album, If Darkness Had a Sun, had that like Injustice for All military type of like with the snare drum opening.
Kind of dancing.
They had the most interesting guitar solo.
Can I say one thing about that song?
If
Darkness Had a Sun, I thought to myself, finally, James Hetfield got to use the word temptation in a song and use it actually well. Because if you remember in Some Kind of Monster, they're trying to do that like dark, brooding song, and he's like, temptation. And he's like doing this, like squeezing through it, and it just did not work. It finally worked in this song, the word temptation. Just want to throw that out
and
there.
Shadows Follow, the second track was my like third favorite song. I liked the harmonies on that, and I thought it was a very nice segue from the opener into the second song. Just a strong opening. 12 tracks. I'd say I strongly enjoyed 6 of them. There were like 2 that I was like, this is fine. And the rest were like, these are decent.
Yeah.
I thought
it was fun.
Shout out the use of like harmonied guitars, like Room of Mirrors had like that really cool
the last
harmonied guitar solo that I loved. It evoked like Thin Lizzy and Iron Maiden's twin guitar lead. So stuff like that. There was a lot of stuff I really, really loved on here. If I'm gonna go for like ones that like didn't hit me as well, You Must Burn kind of felt like it was a bit like a more of that stompy rock kind of thing that I really
that was like a sad but true kind of vibe thing.
And I kind of got that vibe over in like Screaming Suicide a lot better, and I thought like the lyrics for me were hitting better there. So that was like a song I could have like cut, made the album a little shorter. But again, it wasn't a bad song, just one I thought that was a little like extra on it. And I'm gonna go again. Crown of Barbed Wire, which was again one I kind of liked more lyrically, but it was kind of more that stompy rock thing where I think they had like enough of that going on the album. So that's like my like little critiques of it. But overall, those songs sounded great. It has a great feel. It's just a little bit tedious to listen to in one sitting. So, but I'm here for all the songs on it.
Yeah, it's as long as a movie, an hour and 17 minutes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Man. But I think Inamorata was that might have been my favorite song on the album. like front to back.
Yeah, I think the last 4 minutes of that is the strongest section of the album.
Yeah.
Like I wrote from 6:25 on. So
Yeah.
like the breakdown, the dual leads, the bring
Right.
back the chorus. The chorus is like he's kind of a little shouty or a little more wild on it.
I like this in like the misery kind of thing going on. I liked it. It's just that middle section, that hi-hat is like, so you're like, oh, come on, man, just stop it. No,
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah, keep going.
But that was like the only part of the whole record where I was like,
Yeah.
I love the giant nature of the tune though, and like the epicness of it, and I like that they took on something and made something like really creative in the late game, and that's like a really awesome song in their late discography, and I think one that I hope they play live. We'll hear how it sounds.
Yeah. So now rankings. Well, not rankings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ratings.
Ratings. Sorry, ratings.
This is going to be one that I'm going to put on my Metallica playlist, and I'll play when I feel like listening to Metallica, which isn't often, but they are a metal band I go back to every now and then. One of middle of the pack of their albums, I'm going to say this is a 7.5 for me, because there were only like 2 or 3 songs I wouldn't say skippable, but could have been cut from the album just for length's sake.
Yeah.
But yeah, 7.5.
I'm gonna bump that up for my rating to an 8 because I think this is a strong Metallica album. I think it is stronger than Hardwired to Self-Destruct and stronger than Death Magnetic for sure. And I mean, listening back to the Hardwired to Self-Destruct in preparation for this podcast for our rankings, I just thought that 72 Seasons sounds like the much more mature and refined version of Hardwired to Self-Destruct, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go with an 8 on this for me.
I am going to go pitchforked 7.9. Definitely got the points out there. So 7.9. I really like this album. Could have used it shorter. If you're a fan of Metallica, I would hope that you would like this record and champion your band. This is their moment, and I feel like they give it to them. They've been dogged enough. They aren't Nickelback, and they didn't release that shitty album Get Rollin'. So, and they've never done that to you.
No, they've never done that to you.
So, this has been 72 Seasons review by Metallica. This has been Get in the Garage, guys.
Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe and share with a tradesman this week. Also, drop us a line and let us know. Did you like this album? Did you not like this album? We want to hear from you guys.
Are you hardwired to self-destruct? Do you ride the lightning?
Are you gonna kill them all?
Let us know in the
comments. Let us know in the comments below. We'll see you next week, guys. Goodbye.